just like the guys are doing in the picture up there. You rub the ink into the leather. It's a thick, stiff, pasty, almost looks like black peanut butter. So you rub the ink in and pound the ink onto the letters. The person who does the inking is known as the beater. The one who pulls the bar is known as the puller. They work as a team in the shop. In printing on the presser, you print one side the day before. Now we're going to print the other side. Place your paper inside your printing press on the timpan. Bring the paper down on top of your letters. We're going to roll it underneath a flat surface, which is connected to a giant screw with a handle. When I pull on the handle, it turns the screw, creates the pressure. The amount of pressure my machine creates, the printing press, is 170 pounds every square inch, which is me standing on your finger. That would hurt. Roll underneath the first half, give it a good squeeze. Roll to the second half, squeeze her again. Photo op.
Like he's rowing.
You get about 80 copies an hour on the press. So with wet ink on one side, we got to let it dry. So they take sheet paper, they would fold it over, take a stick, lift it up and place it on the rope so it would stretch across the ceiling. If you walked inside Ben Franklin's printing shop, you'd always see paper hanging down from the ceiling. It's not decoration, they're just drying. Once they're dry, then you pull it down, make it into a book. How many pages do you see here?
8.
8. 4 on each side. This is how you make your books today. It's how I made them back then. We don't just print one page at a time, take it forever to make a book. Print a bunch of pages on a big sheet, then all I have to do is fold it. So it takes one, we would fold it in half, fold it in half again. Is it starting to look like a book?
Yeah.
Page 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We have a little problem here, don't we? How do you open up your book? You cut the top folds off. But if you cut off those folds right now, what would happen? Everything would fall apart. So before you cut your top folds off, use the left side over here and you'd sew it together in the sewing frame. Or today, if it's small enough, you just staple it. Then you take a knife, you slice all the top folds off, and then your book would open up. Very, very nice. This is a copy of Ben Franklin's Poor Richard's Almanac from 1733 and all. Trinity Kirkwood. I have something very special for you, but first, will you hand me my very old book that's over there? Be careful, it's kind of old and fresh. Thank you. All right, that's your keepsake. There you go. There's your keepsake. Enjoyed that. All right. Now to make it into a book, finish up on this part. The printers will actually print all the pages, fold them, stack them up in order. Each one of these sections, by the way, is 16 pages. Typical for making books today because you have bigger machines with bigger paper that goes in them. So the printers will stack them up, and actually if you walked inside Ben Franklin's printing shop, you wouldn't necessarily find the book there for you to buy. You'd find the folded pages, which actually have a name to it. We call this a signature. It's a 16-page signature. That's what the printers will call it. What do you call your signature? You're John Hancock. But if you use that word in front of a printer, he thinks you're talking about the printed pages. And they would take those signatures, stack them up in order, and then if you bought the book, he'd take it off the shelf, show it to you, if it was correct. He would then take another sheet of paper and then wrap it up in paper. Just like a butcher wraps up your beef or your meat, and then ties up some string. The paper that he wrapped it up in was called the dust check, the book cover.
So that's still in
Not to
there.
advertise the book, but to protect it from dust. Because you walked out of a printer shop down the dusty Colonial Street, and there you met the bookbinder, which was actually a separate business than the printer. And the bookbinder would then carefully sew your book together for you based on the style of your choice or of your library. So the bookbinder puts it on a sewing frame like you see here. You put the folded edge up against these thick cords. You take a needle and a thread. You punch out of a hole in that folded edge. Go around the thick vertical cord. Go back into the same hole. Pull it in tight. Punch out the next hole. Go around the vertical cord. Go back into the same hole. Pull it in tight. So you go in and out, and you slowly sew it to the cords. When you get done sewing one section on, then you get sew the next one on back the other way. Then the next one, the next one, the next one, until finally after several hours, if not the whole day, you've sewn one book. But are you finished?
No, you can't have
Now you got book covers on that book. So the book covers on the book, they take a knife, you slice off the cords. At this point, the entire book will be held together by the sewing, by the strings, by the cords. No glue, just sewing holds it all together. Put your covers on the book, they take some white glue, looks like Elmer's craft glue. Slap it on the outside page with a brush, stick a piece of cardboard on each side for stiff covers, and then you simply glue leather or fabric to the outside of the cardboard so it looks nice. Then you stamp the name of the book on the side there. Have you ever seen one of these old books with the bumps on the side? What are those bumps? The sewing the cords, the strings. They still sew your books together the same way today, except now we have a machine that sews them really fast. You don't have to do them by hand, and they don't show the bumps anymore because it looks like an old-fashioned book. You guys always get flat edges to your books. So, but if you ever open up your books and see the string right down the middle, that's what holds the books together. Don't cut the strings. The message is brought to you by your favorite librarian.